Welcome back, League Mates and listeners. We are co-hosts Dane and
AJ.
We are back with another Pigskin Pals podcast. It is the week 8.
Yes,
it is
it's
week 8 in the NFL right now. And yeah, in this episode, we're going to be talking about our DFS lineups, the players that you should be playing. And if you missed it or you want to check it out, we just filmed a great episode of sleepers and studs for the quarterback and running back position. Definitely recommend checking those out. We have some fire takes in that.
Very good takes. We're known for our flaming hot takes.
So rip us apart in the comments over there. And don't forget to sack and subscribe to like buttons. Let's get stuck right into it. Hey, don't call it a comeback. Look at me.
Is this 3 weeks or 2 weeks in a row? Is it only 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I think it's only 2 weeks. But that's enough. That's enough.
You were up 1-4, but
I
got that dub again.
Littlefoot still kills me every time I see that. But you can't expect to win a DFS matchup when you put up 73 points and have donuts from 3 different players. Basically a donut from Tyreek Hill too. Let me tell you.
What were the players that I was shitting on last week?
Okay. So
I said,
here's what I'll say. No. Okay, so you didn't even. I don't think you shit on Theo Johnson all that much.
Yes,
maybe you did. Well, yes. Theo Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Tyreek Hill, you shit on a lot. But you know who you also shit on? Alexander Madison. And I told you that he's the guy now. Even with Zamir White, I don't even know if he was back. I don't think he was back. But even with him back now, Alexander Madison's the guy. And I think he might actually be a sneaky good running back moving forward. So, yeah, I stunk really bad. I should not be able to play DFS ever again.
I was also didn't exactly remember our exact lineups, but I knew I was playing Dalt, and he put up an ice cold black as snow. So I was like, this week. But my team pulled through for me. Walker,
Dell.
Jacobs.
Man.
They did all right. I mean, the Panthers, that game was, I told you when I was building it, I was like, oh, I really wanted to do Jaden Daniels and Terry. Thank God I didn't waste my money on that shit because Jaden went out with an injury. Let's see what we have in store for the week 8 DFS. We're doing it a little different. We're going to be going by position this week. So I started off pretty cheap. We're both pretty cheap. I went with Caleb Williams against Washington. I think that's another targeting that Washington matchup again. Hopefully Williams comes out a little better.
Yeah, I got Kirk Cousins. I'm kind of targeting matchup here. This is probably the most recency bias thing I've done so far. I just watched Lamar Jackson torch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've got a feeling that Big Kirko can do the same. Tampa Bay hasn't looked all that good on defense from what I recall. So. And Kirko's due for a big game. He's had one big game all year. He hasn't looked all that good otherwise. I think he's due for another big one. Wait a minute. Give me a second here. Who did he have that huge game against earlier in the year? Was it the Bucks?
Yeah, it was the Bucks.
Oh, I'm locked in. This boy, he's about to throw 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Let's go.
Weren't the Bucks also putting up a lot of points in that game, though?
Yeah.
And what's going to happen in this game?
Oh, I'll tell you what's about to happen. Jalen McMillan and Kate Otten are about to go crazy.
All right, let's move on to the first running back. I have Achan and AJ also have Achan. We are looking at that value for, I'll speak for you, but you can disagree.
You're probably right.
But I'm looking for that value of those Dolphins this week. Tua is back. They're priced down from just how abysmal they've been. I was looking at Mostert H. One of them I feel like is going to have a great game. You can run on the Cardinals. They just lost their best defensive player probably. I want to see these Dolphins stop.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think I was a week early on the Tyreek Hill pull. I think maybe I should just save that for this week. I didn't even, spoilers, I don't have Tyreek Hill. I think I was a little early, but I was going through the running backs. I said, wow, they really have Devon priced low just based off the past couple of weeks, but with Tua back, I think he's going to have a bounce back game. So agreed on that.
And AJ does not know my second running back, but it is Kareem Hunt. We got Kareem Hunt, also pretty freaking cheap at 6,300. I thought he was a value. They did just trade for DeAndre Hopkins. The Raiders just get destroyed. It sure feels like this Chiefs offense just runs. So I had no problem putting it at that price.
I like it. Yeah, I haven't. Maybe I have, but I don't remember. I felt like I haven't had Saquon yet in the DFS lineup, and he's just been so good every week, dude. It's insane. He's a dog. Bark. But yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak. He's been really good. 23. Look at this. 23.5 points per game is just absurd. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, and I think Saquon will obviously be a part of that. I felt the need with some of the little lower range wide receivers I went with, at least felt lower range, to pay up on a big name like Saquon.
Oh, you think that's going to be a high-scoring game? Sure.
I like this.
Piece of I like it. There. I got AJ Brown as my wide receiver 1. Look at those points. 24.1.
Hey, he's got lower amount of games, so it's easier to have a higher average. Come on now.
Maybe. And yeah, I'm all in on this game too. I think this is going to be super fun to watch. You can see who AJ's first wide receiver is. He's got
Romeo
Dobbs.
Look
at
yeah. Dobbs has been a beast the past couple of weeks. I had Jordan Love as my quarterback originally, and then I changed it to Big Kirko. So I have faith in the Packers this week, in the Packers offense. I think Dobbs is really nice.
Is that because your take was so on point last week about the Packers?
Well, to be fair, that was a close game. They almost lost that game. I could have been completely right. I didn't say they were going to get blown out. I said they were going to lose. I was very close to being correct. Anyway, and it wasn't like they played exceptionally well. They didn't play exceptionally well.
The Packers,
Jordan Love
like two
threw a pick
punts
or two. I don't remember.
Yeah, he threw two. One of them wasn't his fault, and then Stroud had put up 84 yards. They didn't have a chance. It was all packed.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All packed.
But
anyway, I think Dobbs is a nice. It's a nice value. I think 5,700 for a guy who's been putting up a good amount of points against a bad defense. Sign me up.
Yep. And I'm not quite done with this Cincinnati game. I got the stack of Jamar Chase and AJ Brown going head to head.
I love it.
I love that. Also, putting my big bucks into that game.
I love it.
It pays. AJ, his second wide receiver.
Speaking of putting big bucks into a game, the Atlanta Falcons, baby. Kirko, Drake London, the stack is back. They're going to let Tampa Bay have it. Not going to say much more. I talked about it with Kirko. I think they're going to have a great game, and Drake London is going to be the benefactor of that.
Moving on to our, we have 3 wide receivers. Another Dolphin in my lineup.
54?
This man, cheaper than Dobbs. Cheaper than Dobbs. I got Jalen Waddle in my lineup with Tua back. Let's go, baby.
Oh, no.
Yep. Against that Arizona defense, I mean, his points per game is low, but yeah, I thought Waddle was a steal this week, and I threw him in that lineup.
I missed him. That's a nice pick. I did not see that. Oh, man. I like that. I'm nervous.
See your steal.
Ooh. I like Garrett Wilson here. I think you saw it in the first game. I know he didn't have like the best game ever, but you saw that Devontae Adams is getting attention. I think it's really going to help Garrett Wilson moving forward. And they still threw the ball at Garrett Wilson quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So I think this value 6,700 for Garrett Wilson. I know the matchup maybe is a little tough, but I don't really know if that's even true.
I don't think so. I think this has to be a bounce back game for the Jets. It's
a divisional game. You know how some of these go. Some of these Jets New England games can be pretty gritty, pretty like low scoring. So we'll see. I really like Garrett Wilson. Yeah, gritty. But yeah, I think 6,700 is a nice value for Garrett Wilson with Devontae in the lineup.
Going on to the tight ends now, I believe we got the same ones.
We both got him, baby.
Mr.
I told you I'm targeting this game.
Cade Otton.
Hell yeah.
He is basically, he might be the top receiving
100%.
option for the Bucks this week with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out. So I don't think there's much. I was looking at him and Hunter Henry, who was a little bit, just because that Jets D is
I just want to say one thing about Cade Otton. I was really surprised. Well, maybe 2 things. I was really surprised to see how low he costed, or like how little he costed in this, with all the injuries that the Bucks are facing, and with the usage that you saw from him last game. This boy gets screen passes, man. He gets screens run for him. He's gonna get the ball. I think he's going to get the ball a lot moving forward until they figure out who that receiver is that can step up. So this might be a common pick for me moving forward.
This is actually.
Oh, you messed it up.
Well, yeah, there was Osborne was actually in there. That was just a different one. But I'm going with Cedric Tillman. That, yeah, I know. This one's kind of a barf pick, but I mean, 12 targets last week. We got J-Mo throwing the ball back there. It can't be 30 targets for Njoku. Some of these receivers got to step up. And Tillman was the one that stepped up last week. Maybe he'll do it again. This is my punt play. And then I got the Falcons D, because I think this game is actually going to be bad. And
no, I think you're wrong, man. I think you're wrong.
Well, we'll see who's right. It's going to come down to this game, I think. And yeah, I think the Bucks aren't going to be able to do much, and it's just going to be a run the ball game. It's divisional. It's going to be close scoring. It's going to be a lot tighter and AJ,
we'll see.
Who's out.
I got Tyler Boyd in the flex, who I think could be a nice little value now with DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs. They're going to have to throw the ball at some point. He's going to be the likely number 2 option next to Calvin Ridley. I think at 3,900, you're just looking for a guy who's going to get work, and this is a guy who's got all of these targets now that can be his, even though there wasn't that many because they're really bad. But anyway, I think it's a reasonable shout against the bad defense, bad passing defense. And then Panthers against Denver is my defense. I know Denver just had like a really nice game on offense. They still don't really scare me in any way. And this was like just an insanely cheap dart throw. Like I could see a couple turnovers from Bo Nix or something like that to get me like 4 points, 6 points, which is all I'm looking for with a 2,300 defense.
I could see it. Yep, that was our DFS lineups. We got only a couple more minutes until Thursday night games start. We gotta hop
going
right through these matchups. I mean, we're agreeing on all these. AJ took a little bit more of a lead last week. I'm down by 3 games, but we agree on all of these. Were there any that were pretty close in your head when you were going through them?
I think maybe Ethan Ryan was close, but overall, I think the other ones I felt good about. Let me double check on Ethan Ryan here quick. Yeah, I mean, I think we're starting to figure out a little bit who's who and who's what and what team's good, what team's bad. All I'll say is I need to go on a run here. I just won technically 2 games last week because of the median, and I'm feeling good now with Devontae like back and all my running backs popping off. So,
I think the closest game of the week might be Parker. I can just rip through the Parker's got Mahomes, Barkley, Gibbs, BTJ. Sounds good so far. And then he's got Leggett, Freiermuth, Cup, Chase Brown. I think what I would like to see is Najee actually hopping into that flex over Leggett, and then
absolutely. I agree 100%.
He's about to lock Cup into his flex to be an option for him any longer, but that just would have really solidified my pick with Parker. I chose him anyways. But I do think Ben is going to give him a run for his money with Jaden Daniels. We'll see if he plays, but he's got Kamara, Connor, AJ Brown, who we like this week, Puka Nacua, your dog, Evan Ingram, Rashad Bateman, and Hubba Hubbard. Not the best flex options, but pretty damn good starters.
Yeah, I mean, the only person I really don't like too much on Parker's team is Leggett, like you mentioned. So if he gets subbed out, I think that would be ideal. And I think Ben might be chasing a little bit of the Bateman points that we've been seeing. I don't know how well that will work out for him. I would almost rather just play Keenan Allen over Bateman straight up, but that is just me.
You want to move on to the Dynasty picks? We got a difference. We got a difference.
And it's a good game. It's a fun game.
Shocker. I'm projected to lose against Jake after my abysmal team is getting worse. With first I lost Rice, now I lost Ayuk, and then I lost Godwin same week. Yeah, it was the same. So that was pretty tragic. I gotta figure out what I want to do going forward. Maybe trade for one of our sleepers or studs in our previous episode.
Peter and Ben is the matchup we're looking at here. 2 good teams, both 5-2, both could be in the championship. I think this is going to be tight. Let's see. AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, I really like this week. Patrick Mahomes, I think might have a bounce back week. He's got your DFS lineup, dude. He's got Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown. Like, come on, man. How do you not like this guy? He's got Tua back. Brock Bowers is a freak. I don't know. I thought it was more. And I think DeAndre Swift against Washington could have a good game. I like a lot of these matchups.
I actually just I like all of the pieces on Ben's team than Peter's, minus the quarterbacks and tight ends. But I think the tight ends is really the only difference with Bowers and Ingram. And the quarterbacks, we'll see how good Tua plays right away, being on IR coming off of it. But like Mahomes hasn't been this year. Like I could see him put up similar points to Trevor Lawrence, but then he's just got Derrick Henry and Kyron, who's been going on a tear.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson and Devonta Smith, who's in that game that we really like. Neighbors another week away from injury, and Ridley all by himself.
Don't hate on Tyler Boyd there. Come on now. And this is good timing. A trade went down while we were recording this. Ben acquired DeAndre Hopkins from Riley for a 2026 second round pick. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see DeAndre Hopkins go in that Calvin Ridley slot. So keep that. I think it's a fun little trade that happened.
Yeah, I think that.
I think I don't hate it either way.
I would like that. It also just blocks the Mahomes play, Peter.
That's true. That's true. Very true. That is our one difference that we had. I believe that's all we got. Otherwise, Dan, you have anything before this Rams game gets started and I can watch Puka play some football, dude? Come on now.
Puka? Yeah, I guess one last note of those picks is AJ and I are currently tied. We're both sitting at 24 correct picks.
There you go.
So this is going to be the tiebreaker.
Oh, I like it.
Let's hear down in the comments. Hey, Ryan, you still watching?
Yeah, Ryan, we need you, bro.
Tell us who you think is going to walk away with that dub, Peter or Ben.
All right. Don't forget to sack that like and subscribe button like it's Sam Darnold, because that's who the Rams are playing today, and I'm just the biggest Rams fan on planet Earth. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.